Hey guys, welcome to part 2 of the Borrowed Bike series. That's right, it's nighttime now, and I'm about to head home. Words of warning. If you ever borrow a friend's bike, and it has little quirks like secret switches, or modified petcocks, or, fidgety keys, anything special like that, make sure that you remember it. Otherwise, you might just find yourself sitting in a parking lot for an extended period of time, wondering what the hell is going on with such and such thing. Took me a second to unscramble the code that is starting Bones' bike. But you know what? I'm still grateful. Takes a hell of a guy to loan me their bike. And the Bandit, oh man, the Bandit, the bastard child of Bones. This is a fun bike. I don't know that I would necessarily like to have one in the long run, just because it's a lot of power and it's a different kind of position for me. Not really what I'm used to. But I can see why it works for him. Okay, somebody go. His levers are also sensitive at different areas than mine. The friction zone is different, like for his clutch and stuff. His throttle is responsive in a different way. I think he might actually have an electronic throttle body. I was looking at the side of it earlier because the Bandit 1200S is technically a naked bike, even though it has some fairings. It's mostly naked. And I was staring at the side of it earlier, poking at it, just looking around. So I think it might actually have an electronic throttle body, which would be cool. This bike's carbureted, like mine, so I'm used to little things like hesitation when you give it throttle. It doesn't react instantly. But it idles lower than mine, which is interesting. His headlights, he's got an HID kit on his bike, which is very cool, because I ride with a tinted lens, as you guys well know. So, sometimes, it gets a little dark on my bike. I'm actually thinking about upgrading to an HID kit when I get my tax return, because it makes such a difference. He's got some additional auxiliary lighting that he added down on his forks. So basically, whenever he's tilted into a turn, he's got light through the turn, which I think is bloody brilliant. I've seen it a couple of times on other bikes, where they've got stuff mounted directly to the bottom of the fork tube. And as you guys can see, his headlight is significantly brighter than mine. And that's the low beam. That's the high beam. It needs to charge because it's an HID system. But once it charges, it'll be really bloody bright. And then on top of that, he's got some auxiliary lighting. And he's also got neon wired into his bike. Very cool. Something to consider when you borrow someone's bike. Try to ride it the way they would. But obviously, Bones and I don't stunt. But if I was a stunter, and I borrowed his bike, you don't be a douchebag and do wheelies on someone else's bike when they wouldn't do it. Obviously, I'm doing 85-ish, but Bones rides that way with me all the time. I don't think I'm going to hurt his bike by doing the speed he normally does on it. It's just common respect. If you're going to borrow someone else's machine, like any other tool, you don't use it in a way that's not conducive to its function. That's just rude. I'm not going to go hauling ass doing 130 on Bones' bike. If he wants to do it, that's all well and good. But I don't know. And I'm not going to pound the piss out of his machine when I very rarely do that on my own machine. No, to me it's a question of gratitude. Are you appreciative enough of the thing someone's loaned you to take appropriate care of it? Obviously, I'm not going to have Bandit for very long, but if I was borrowing him for an extended period of time, let's say a month or a few months, then you start getting into, well, what kind of maintenance would be done on it? If it was Bones' bike at his house, when you're talking about like chain lube, oil changes, that kind of stuff. If the person you borrowed the machine from would do regular, meticulous maintenance, then it's your job to do the same thing. For all intents and purposes, you gotta be the owner while the owner's away, you know what I mean? You're babysitting, not permanent. So you want to give it back in the same condition you were given it. Obviously, when I drop this bike back off to Bones, it will have a full tank of gas. Or at least close to full. Has it like a nod in his direction and a simple thank you like, hey man, there's a couple extra bucks in gas because you let me take your toy all over town. Side note, I have no idea if the part I need for Buzz will be ready tomorrow like I was hoping. So, cross your fingers on that one. By the time you guys see these videos, I will either know for sure or not know. It makes me so sad to go out to my garage to do laundry and see Buzz all taken apart. It's like he's in Sid's room all over again. Some of you will get that joke. Others of you will think I'm an idiot. That's okay. I don't know. I mean, all kidding aside, there are a few people, motovloggers that I know can relate to this. Like Chase on Two Wheels and a few other guys that had to borrow somebody else's toy because theirs got stolen or broken. It's a weird feeling. First, to be in need, and then second, to have that need fulfilled in an unlikely way. Like, I was scrambling trying to figure out how to get to work and change the schedule and that kind of thing, and in no way anticipated that my buddy would just toss me his keys. That's a touching thing. It's something you don't see very often. It's humbling is what it is. To be in need, to have somebody say, hey, you know what? Here, I got you. Whatever you need. That's some next level stuff, man. Got me contemplating brotherhood over here. You know what? I guess now's as good a time as any to unveil my plan. In July of 2013, I will be going on a spectacular road trip from my home in California to my mom's home in Oregon, because she's getting married and I want to be at that wedding. And I figured, I'm young, I'm carefree, I can get 2 weeks off of work, let's do a road trip, let's take the bikes. So my lady and I are going to be riding next to Bones and his lady, because Bones got invited too, along with his woman. And I could not think of a better way to spend my 2 weeks off of work than being on my bike. The more I think about it, the more I think I made the right decision to go alongside Bones, because I am seriously developing a hardcore friendship with the guy. And I'm happy about that. It's cool to see, what's the word? My girlfriend calls it a bromance. I don't know, it's hard for me sometimes, as a guy, to open myself up to other guys. It's weird. It's hard to explain. I'm not good at being vulnerable, and letting people in. But, Bones and I are becoming very good friends. And so I think it'll be awesome to ride next to him for 900 miles. Solidify that bond a little bit. If you guys want to leave a comment or a video response on anything I talk about, feel free. As I've said time and time again, I love hearing your thoughts. I love having conversations, discussions. I love knowing what you guys like and don't like about my vlog so that I can sort of not acquiesce, really. I mean, I'm gonna do me regardless, but I want to make sure you guys are having as much fun as I am. So, let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys on the next one.